Hey Juventini, this is the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto. I'm going to bring you the news surrounding Juventus to Friday, September 10th. And basically, it's a big interview with Cherubini that sheds a lot of light on the current project and Allegri's press conference before Napoli took place today. And we've got a little bit more insight to how things are shaping up with the lineup. All that on Juve today. Right out of the gate, we'll get to this Carabini interview, which really shed a lot of light on a lot of things that have been circulating around Juventus, especially through the Mercato. Kicking it off with Dybala, it is very optimistic with Dybala, and he is the focal point of the project. Yeah, he just continued to shed the light on all the optimism that's there for locking in on Paolo, and that it is truly there for both parties to make it work. But he also shed light on the second thing, which was the financials, and that they are extremely, extremely tight to the point where every million counts. And that's also what made things very, very delayed in the Locatelli deal, is that it's just very, very troubling times financially. And you really, really have to take your time and make sure everything works. Number three, they talked about Kane and Caio Jorge, both chosen to fall in line with the project of getting younger, however, still building for the future with certain characteristics. He spoke about Moise Kean and saying he does not see the bad boy that is basically reflected in through media and everything like that, and that he sees a professional, hardworking young lad. So it's very, very good, positive reviews on both those guys. Lastly, he spoke about the Cristiano Ronaldo situation, saying that there was signs he was staying leading up to the Udinese match, and then with 3 days remaining in the Mercado, is when finally Ronaldo said he needs to leave immediately, and that made things very, very difficult. And Manchester City was unwilling to prepare to pay anything and wanted Juventus to essentially terminate the contract and let him go. And they said Manchester United showed more respect and offered up a sum to at least take the player. So there you have it. That was a Carabini interview. There's a lot more to it. Search it out and read it. It's actually quite good. There is some more to it that can even speak to past but really, really good stuff. Then we have Allegri's press conference took place today prior to the Napoli match, which will be tomorrow. And basically, we got a little more insight to that lineup, which obviously we always know. Still, Max somewhat holding his cards close to his chest, but all the South Americans will remain at home. Quadrado actually got gastroenteritis, and it's funny to me. Every time there's an international break, it's usually Paulo Dybala, but a South American gets gastroenteritis. So, anyways, Quadrado's got gastroenteritis, but all the South Americans will be staying home and training, getting ready for the Champions League match versus Malmo, the first one of the group stage, which Allegri called the most important. McKennie has been training well, according to Allegri, and he will be in the starting 11. But he said, we will see where. There could only be one place to start McKennie, in my personal opinion, but that's that. Chiesa will not be risked. There's the risk of re-aggravating the injury, even though it appears to be okay. And then there's a lot of games in a short period of time. So a pretty stacked schedule before the next international break. So Chiesa will not be risked. Three at the back. Allegri says it is a possibility. Regardless, there are no excuses for the match tomorrow. Szczesny will start in goal. De Winter, Sule, and Miretti are all in the squad. So three youngsters all in the squad. Pellegrini and De Chilio are ready if needed, according to Allegri. So there you have it. None of the South Americans will take part. Chiesa will not take part. Three youngsters, De Winter, Sule, and Miretti, all in the squad. Szczesny is given the nod. And Pellegrini and De Chilio, one of them most likely in that starting 11. If both go, that's interesting, but I don't think both will end up going in. 3 at the back, we might see 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, probably one being Nishilio and the other potentially Bernardeschi. So it's gonna be interesting to see what ends up, developing. We are definitely gonna have, a makeshift lineup, but Allegri's making no excuses, saying that he's got 14 players and 3 youngsters, more than enough, and, he's throwing it out there, so there we go. Last, certainly not least, just want to talk about UEFA's president, Sefrin. He continues to babble on about the whole Super League thing. And he basically, in the latest interview, said he's just running his mouth again. He does not care if Juve, Madrid, and Barcelona all leave Champions League. He says he thinks it's funny that they tried to leave, start something else, yet still want to remain in the competition. And he basically called all their owners incompetent. This guy is absolutely brutal, and has no idea. Well, no, he does have an idea. He's just not addressing what the actual situation and scenario is. Again, we saw it this Mercado. Okay. So basically, you want these clubs that don't have the backing in aid of certain clubs and a certain league, they are pushing the market higher and higher. So then these other clubs are forced to follow suit and pay above their means sometimes, get things done. And then when a pandemic hits or with this, there is zero aid coming from UEFA, even though they have no product without these teams. And then when it happens, you're screwed as a club. So why wouldn't they look for an alternative and a league where they can all flourish financially, and cut out the middleman, especially when the middleman talks about the product, which he has zero without the clubs like this. It's an absolute joke. Anyways, I had to get that out there. But again, as always, I love hearing from all you. So drop your comments here on the video. Like the video. Please take the time to just hit that button and like the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to it. This is your Juve channel. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, match day live. Okay. The thumbnails out there on the YouTube channel. Set the reminder, set the notification, take part in our pre-match day show where we will join up at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and actually break down the lineups, talk about the build-up going into this game, talk about how the two teams, Napoli and Juventus, are going to approach this one, and of course, have a lot of fun with our predictions and see if we can nail these. So yeah, make sure you tune into that. As always, we'll talk tomorrow. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.